really hate riding in the cold. I mean, I love riding, don't get me wrong. I just hate all the gear that you gotta freaking put on. Yeah. Oh, it warmed up to 38. Let's see if this automatically connects back to my phone. Ah, come on. Oh, good. My hands are freaking cold. Put it on number 2. Oh, it is definitely a cold one today. Oh, I gotta turn my gloves off. So for those of y'all following along, y'all know that I damaged the windshield last year. Got a new windshield finally, but I managed to order it wrong, or they got it wrong. Either way, I got the 1290S windshield, which fits just fine. And on the way here, I was like, you know what? The route doesn't call to go on the toll road. So I jumped on the toll road real quick. And man, with this thing all the way up, it does make a big difference. With this, with this windshield in the down position, it feels like the original windscreen in the up position, if you're interested in that. So how do y'all like that windshield? Does it just not look right on the 1290? I don't know if I like it or not. I mean, it doesn't look horrible. Maybe I'll paint it, get it tinted or something. You know, if I'm gonna use this bike for long distances, it really does help. It really helps. The Carpuride works great. What I was concerned about was that whenever the Carpuride connected to my phone, was it going to disconnect me from my helmet and make my music go away? Because that's all I really use my headset for, is the music. So that's why, another reason why the Sena SMH10R, that's all I want. Yeah, I mean, it's really cool. It's easy, but you can't really do anything. Like with these gloves, it's fine. You can navigate around. Pandora, you know, all. So you got all your stuff. You got all your stuff here. Doesn't sync up to the Garmin Explorer. That's odd. There's not a whole lot to say about the Carpuride. Apple CarPlay and whatever the Android Auto is pretty common. So if you know what it is, that's what this is. There's not a whole lot to say about it. But I can say that with my big gloves, with my winter gloves, you can touch on the screen, but it's just a pain in the butt. So installation on this is not horrible either. I don't plan on making this Carpuride a permanent fixture, which I have to take off that clamp because I can't put my Garmin back on here. So I'm just using the USB connection for power. That way I can transfer it from bike to bike. No problem, kind of no problem. So you got to tuck the wires in, but the Carpuride comes with that the jog switch, whatever you want to call it. I think that's more gimmicky than anything. So they don't have a cover, and these wires are non-removable. So you can't remove this wire. So what I did is for the jog switch, the thumb switch thing that you mount on your bar, I didn't like the mounting setup that they had for that anyways. That was kind of weird. So I cut the end off of that, and I got some needle nose pliers and pulled the pin out of, let's see. I pulled the pins out of this. That way the device wouldn't think that it was actually plugged in. That and when and if these get wet, it's not going to short anything out. So there's no pins in here to go inside. And then I put it in there, and that's what keeps the water or whatever, the muck, out of this connection right here. That's why I did that. You can do what you want to do. So you can do your research if you want and try and find an adapter to put on there so you don't cut the wire off of the switch, because I know some people are like, well, I paid for it, I'm going to use it. Yeah, I paid for it, but it's mine. I can do what I want. So that's why I cut it off. So I just tucked these up here and ran the power wire down here to the USB. There you go. The only bad thing is whenever you turn the bike off, it goes off. There are no power buttons on this thing. I don't like that. So you have to, it powers on and off with the bike. And with these USB ports, with the power ports, they're on a switched circuit. It's not on a hot circuit. It's a good device for local. But for me, whenever I'm out and I don't have any signal, I don't want to rely on offline maps. I really don't. This, I think, is a 605 or the 603 W. I wanted the cheapest one possible, and there are cheaper versions. I've seen these with the guys that I ride with. They're kind of proven. They're not expensive, they're not cheap, but they're proven and they do work. So that's why I went with the Carpuride instead of one of the $50 ones. To each his own. You get what you want to get. But I think the most important thing that I could tell you about the Carpuride is that the cords, you can't detach them. And you got to find a solution for this if you're not going to use the thumb switch. I'm sure I missed something. Go ahead and leave me a comment. If you got questions, put it down in there. I'll answer them whenever I get around to it. I haven't played with it much because the weather has just been rainy. I would say not good, but any weather that you can ride in is good. Like this right here is just cold. And I don't care for riding into cold weather because you got to get all bundled up and it's just restrictive and it's just hard to move around. So my riding is more on the conservative side. So, all right, anyways, enough babbling. I'm gonna get home. I got some stuff to do. We're finally selling our house, if you care. Once we start the moving process, I don't know what the deal is. I don't know what the deal is going to be with my upload schedule. I just might have to upload some shorts. And then eventually I'll talk about this thing. This little baby tiny mic. It's so small, it's so tiny. That was fun. Yeah, baby. All right, guys. Safe out there. We'll see y'all on the next one. Woo! It's cold. Bye.